Hi, I'm Claire. Welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I'm going to be doing a lighthouse speed build in The Sims 4. So we are going to be starting off in this main front area. I was kind of wanting this to be like a formal living room. It kind of has like the most like Christmas stuff with like the Christmas tree, a nice decorated fireplace, and then this room behind it is kind of like the informal living room with like the TV, but this front room is like the look, I have Christmas in my house. And I did try to sprinkle Christmas throughout each area of the house, but I end up just kind of mostly having it in this room. And just I think that's kind of normal. I just want to like focus it like in like the parts that like people see walking past the street. And so we are just going to be adding a little bit of lights and just kind of be decorating this space up. I am thinking of doing like a tacky Christmas house soon. I think that'd be really fun. I just do one video per week on my channel, and so that's probably gonna be like next week's video maybe. And so we are just going to be now working in this like informal living space. This is like in the lighthouse area, and so there's also going to be a bedroom in this like curved space. And so we are just going to be using these couches from the Nifty Knitting pack, but I actually end up switching them out for another couch. I don't remember which couch, just because I realized that this is the only item I used from Nifty Knitting, and so I didn't want you to be like, oh, I can't use this house because I didn't have this $10 pack. And so I do switch those out at the end. I'm pretty sure you've seen screenshots. I didn't realize this until like afterwards, so like I don't come back in the video and switch them out. But we are now just going to be trying to figure out a rug, and I use this one from base game. I changed it in a white swatch, and so this room is a little bit awkward, but I do like it. I do like the like concept of like gathering in like the round room, and so we are just going to kind of trying to figure out how to like add some decorations, but like without making it seem crowded. So I use these shelves that have like stuff in it, so it's like, oh, here's a TV remote, here's like snacks or something, and like hide the cords, like cords and air quotes. And so we are just going to be adding these chairs from the cottage living pack, and I thought they just looked big and comfy, something that Santa would enjoy sitting in and having some milk and cookies. Okay, that sounds a little weird not to say it out loud, but we are just going to be adding this little lighthouse lamp because we're in a lighthouse, and I thought that would be funny. I did want to like bring some Christmas colors into the house, and so I go with this wallpaper that has red and green in it, and I like how that turns out, and I use it in this office off of the kitchen. And so we are just going to be kind of adding a few more details into the space and going to be wrapping it up, or yeah, wrapping this up. That sounded kind of because it's Christmas and you wrap presents, but yeah, we're just going to be adding a few more details. I of course have to add this bunny statue from the base game because it's just something I always add in each build, or some sort of bunny statue or poster. And so now we are just going to be working on the front entryway. I probably should have done this like at the beginning, but I wanted to do the things. I kind of had a better idea of what I wanted to go in this space. And so we're just going to be adding some presents from seasons, and I thought this would be kind of fun. Like one pile is for like one child, the other piles for another child, and then like the small pile in the middle is from the grandparents. And so we are just going to be adding a little like putting on the coats area, I don't know, entryway, mudroom area, whatever you want to call it. And now we are just going to be going into the kitchen, and I thought I added wallpaper, but I guess I didn't. And so we just going to be adding that wallpaper and going to be making a somewhat awkward space of a kitchen. I feel like this was kind of like a hard build to do because it's like I was trying to base it off of something that it's not really supposed to be lived in. It's just like a little clay sculpture from my Christmas village that my family has. And so we are just going to be doing my best to try to get all of it to work together. I did add a bump out on the back. The uh, clay thing, clay sculpture didn't have a back pop out, bop out, and so we are just going to be adding some of these wraparound cabinets, and I wanted to make sure there's a lot of space for like stuff or like cabinets and stuff, but I didn't want to cover the window, so that's why the window's covered on the sink area, but not so much the stove area. Also, the area by the stove was like overlapping, and so it just didn't look the best. And so we are just going to be adding this bookshelf from the Parenthood pack, and I do kind of move it around a little bit, trying to figure out the best orientation of this room. I kind of keep it like this style, and then just going to be adding a little computer. I don't know if this is like with like every house. I know it's like at my uncle's house, but like his like office is like right off of the kitchen, and so I didn't really think that was like a big deal. Maybe if you want to have more space, you can switch out the two wide door for a one wide door, and I don't know how to make a good office space. This was a little bit of a challenge with it, like not completely being an original design, having to go off of a like something real life, and so this is actually kind of a fun challenge if you like need some like build inspiration to like find something in your Christmas village or something on Pinterest to kind of just get that ball rolling of a build. And so we are just going to be finishing up this area of the house. Just going to be adding a few pictures. Since lighthouses are very like firm, I want to add some like historic pictures that came with the get together pack. That pack is really good because it has like modern items, it has like kind of more older fashioned items, like Tudor styled items, and so that pack does have a good variety. And now we are just going to be working on a like dining room. I wanted there to be like a nice dining area in this house, and I didn't really stick to like a style per se. I wanted it to be kind of like older because like I said, the lighthouse is like historic maybe, and so they want to like, keep that vibe, but they also like certain modern items, and so we are just going to be adding some decorations. I added a pet bowl. Later I do go back and add two pet bowls, and I change them to be red to bring some of that Christmas vibe in. And now we are going to be going into the primary bedroom. This bedroom, the bed, and the side tables are both from the high school years pack. I guess I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but this is built in the world of the high school years pack, and so I can't remember the name off the top of my mind. There are a lot of worlds to keep track of, but we're just trying to find some lights to put on the side tables, and since this is an awkward space and like the roof lines, it just kind of ended up having the windows in the corner, and I did add maybe too heavy of curtains in this space. I wanted them to be like off the ground, not like dangling, because that messed up with the bed frame and kind of like intertwined with each other. And so I wanted to add these like kind of higher up ones. And so now we are working on the second bathroom in the house. This is a two bedroom, oh wait, no, this is a two bathroom, three bedroom home. Again, probably should have mentioned that earlier, but we are just going to be adding all the normal things. This is a pretty small house, so just like this is kind of like the only spot to have a bathroom, but there is one down in the formal living room on the main floor. And so we are just going to be now going into the kids' bedroom, and you can see that ladder that is to go up into the teens' room. So to bring some of that Christmassy vibes, I use this bed that has green and red on it, and then this also made me think like, oh, they should have a cat and a dog. And so we are just going to be using this round side table and pushing it into the wall so it kind of matches up with the curves, even though the curved part does have like stuff in it. I thought this looked nice to have a just to have it plain. And so we are just going to be changing those pet bowls like I said, and going to be adding a cat tree. I do later add a like little present bow onto it, so it's like the cat getting a cat tree for Christmas. And there was no other place for a litter box, so the office area was the only spot I could put it, or was tried to put it. And so we are just going to be making this kids room kind of generic, but also having a little bit of a theme of like wanting to be a doctor when they grow up, or a veterinarian. And so we kind of go a little pet crazy in this room. I was kind of adding a lot of posters and dog and cat stickers from the Cats and Dogs pack. And so we are just going to be adding a lot of different fun items in this space. I try to make it generic so you can have whoever you want in this space. And so we are just going adding these cat and dog curtains and going up into the bedroom. So this is in like the lighthouse part of the house, and I kind of decided that this room would be for a future astronomer or astronaut, just with like the panoramic windows. It gave me the idea of that, like, oh, they're like looking out each window to see like the different like constellations, and this bed kind of helped with that decision. I do end up changing the curved wall color a few times to kind of help with the theme. The curved walls are really hard to like find pictures and posters to put on the wall, and so I do end up like going with like more of a fun wallpaper to kind of cover it up, like, oh, it's intentional, you don't want to cover up the pretty curved wall art. And so we do add a full-length mirror and a like kind of like hanging closet space. I thought maybe this sim could also have a side hustle of like fashion design. I don't remember what the actual name is, but like they put outfits together and then they sell them. And so I thought that would be fun. Like, they're nerdy, but they're also fashionable. And so we are just going to be adding a hanging shelf and going to be going in and just kind of changing colors. I was like, probably want to like do purple, since like there's like little pops of purple with the mirror and the pillows. And so we do add a little desk area so the sim in this room can write down their discoveries out of their telescope. And so we are just going to be adding a few different like clutter items. I do end up putting like a makeup tray and like a hair station tray by the mirror, because that just made more sense to have a mirror, have that stuff by the mirror. And so we do add like armoire, just kind of be like, okay, these are the things that I want to keep, and then like the things that are open are like the things that the sim is trying to sell. And so we are just going to be adding some posters into this room. Again, this was really hard to do, so I had to slice them down, had to be a little creative. I noticed like the one like tile pictures do better than like the like two tile pictures on the curved walls. And so we are just kind of wrapping up this space, just going to add a few more details into the room. I was trying to make this seem like cluttered and like that personality, and so we are just going to be kind of wrapping it up. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. I'm also on Instagram, and if you want to play in this house, the information is down in the description. My ID is green_rose_sims, and that is the same on Instagram and on YouTube on the gallery. And so I hope you all have an amazing day. Leave a comment down below if you have any build ideas for me. I'd love to hear them. Have a good week. Bye!